Hey, thanks for dropping by the channel today. I think we got a pretty interesting episode for you. It's all about film, and outdated film, to be very honest with you. It's Fujicolor Press 400 and 800, and I got a lot of it. I probably got about 20 rolls or so, and I'm gonna try and use it up. And I just wanted to get a sense of how this film would shoot, and I haven't done it in a long time, and I get pretty excited about it. So stay tuned after the break. We're going to give you a rundown on what we did. We're down here at Rockport Harbor, and we got a different episode for you this morning. We're using the Leica M3, and we're using some really outdated film. Now this outdated film is 20-year-old Fuji Press 400. And I did a test roll, and I found out, I shot it at the rated ISO, which is 400. Old film, you really need to shoot at least a stop overexposed. So I'm shooting this stuff here at 200. Folks that have been shooting film for a while know that there's some chemical fog going on, and there's a lot of other things going on. Might get some color shift, but I have to tell you that the roll that I shot wasn't that bad at all. I just underexposed it by a good stop, maybe even a stop and a half. So today I'm going to shoot at 200 and see what we get. Unfortunately, we've got a pretty cloudy day so far. It's early in the morning. It's just after sunrise. So this is flat film anyway, with the fogginess that's going on, so we're not going to get a lot of bright colors. But I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen. So follow me along and see what goes on. And, there goes the lobster boat. Kind of cool. Here early in the morning, the lobster boats go out early. It's kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to be taking these shots at 1.4, the f-stop 1.4. Oh, he's pulling over there to get some stuff. He's pulling over there to get some traps, I guess. Some gear, I should say. So I'm going to climb down on this dock here and get some shots right here at 1.4. I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to look on film. Just want to make sure you know I'm using an altimeter 4, and I'm using it with the incident reading dome here on the top because it's the most accurate. It's the light falling on the subject, not the light reflected back from the subject. So you'll see what I get, but this is a surprise right here in this boat. Wait till you see it. So the exposure for that little shot right there is 1,000 or 1.4 or 0.5 or something like that. So we're going to bracket on either side, which I'm doing with every shot that I'm doing, just because I really want to give me some latitude, see what's going on with the film. And this is another test roll. This is flat light, so we're going to see what's going on. See if I get any kind of oomph out of the film at all, because I've got like 20, maybe even 30 rolls of this film left from my days as a photojournalist. So as you can see with this straight scan, it's a little bit flat, and maybe a little bit of a color cast to it. And as we go to the corrected version here, I'm zooming up here to the left-hand side so you can see the grain is pretty evident in the water in this other dinghy. So if the scene goes back and forth a little bit, it's because we're on a dock here. I'm going to try this shot here. I like these 3 punts right here. You get these boats in the background. Maybe even get the motif in the background. I'm going to move this back a little bit. The other thing is I'm shooting with my 50 millimeter, which I never do, because it's perfectly matched with this M3. And by the way, this M3 was built in 1954, and it's exactly how old I am. It's 67 years old, so believe me, it's kind of cool to be able to shoot with this camera. So we're getting the same thing, about 1,000th of a second at 1.4. By the way, we got a pretty squeaky dock, so please don't mind that. So you can see in the straight scan here, it's a little bit light because I've overexposed it a little bit, and there's a little bit of a color cast. We go to the corrected version, and it looks a little bit better. There's still some grain in the shadow areas, but overall it's not too bad at all. The other shot I made here is of just this particular dinghy right here, the lifeboat. I kind of like the way it, I just wanted to shoot it at 1.4 dead on, see what we got. So you can see on the scan here on the left, it's a little bit overexposed, and it's got some color cast. In the corrected version, not so bad. I'm really liking the side light on these ropes here. Same bracket going on. Focused in this area right here. I don't know, kind of interesting. So you can see in the scan, it's actually not too bad. A little bit of a color cast. Corrected version, I've added some contrast and darkened it up a little bit. It looks pretty good. So on day 2, we had bright sunlight. Made a world of difference in some of these images, I'm telling you. So our meter reading here is 500 at close to f11, even at ISO 200. So a world of difference. Didn't help this image much. We got some heavy fogging going on in the lower half of this frame, and the corrected version still didn't fix it too well. So, you know, I could have taken some of the yellow out a little bit, and it would have helped it a little bit. So 120 at 5.6. So this is one of my favorite images here, and the exposure was right on the nose, and it actually looks really, really good. And the corrected version, I only did a little bit of work, and I actually took out some of the grain with noise reduction, and I added a little bit of sharpening, and it came out beautiful. So we got about 500 at f8.5, so about f11. I'm in a bracket, of course. This is more of a black and white shot. Another one of my favorites here. I did some color correction. I added some contrast, and I didn't really play around with the color too much. I just took out some of the yellow, and then I converted it to black and white, and boom, there it is. The only thing I did here was do a little bit of noise reduction to lessen the grain a little bit, and I added some sharpening, and boy oh boy, it came out great. Like about 250 at f11. So the scan here is a lot yellow, a lot overexposed. Not a lot overexposed, but very, very flat. And look at the difference this corrected version is. I add a lot of contrast and took out some of the yellow, and boy, it really came out pretty nice. This could be the shot of the day right here. And our exposure is 250 at f8, as you can see. Incident meter reading. Yeah, just like that. It's going to be nice. Well, don't I wish I framed it up like I did with the video camera. Again, a little yellow, and did a good job of correcting it here. Took out some of the yellow, added a little contrast, and darkened it up a little bit. It looks pretty good. So really what this episode was about was trying to figure out what happens with outdated film and what it looks like after it's been processed. And quite honestly, it's not digital, of course, and you can see a little bit of noise going on in the, or grain, I should say, in the shadows in some of these images. But to be honest with you, for 20-year-old film, this isn't bad at all. I thought it was going to be much worse. I thought I was going to be getting a lot more fogging. So if you get a chance, hit the like button, give me a comment, subscribe to the channel. That would be great. And I'm going to do more film, but maybe once a month. I'm not going to do a ton of it. I'm still really focused on Fuji. And by the way, hopefully for the next episode, we're going to have an X Pro 3 in-house with a 2314, the old 2314. And I can't wait to try it. It's just something different.
And I'll probably get maybe, 2 or 3 episodes out of that, I hope. We'll see what happens. So that's it for this week, and we'll catch you next time.